This is Mr. Gillum, and today we're going to continue talking about unit rates. We're on lesson 2, day 3 in the instruction book, and that's on page 14. Problem number 14 starts the page, and it says to write the letter of the rate that matches each ratio. So we have a matching exercise. And before I start identifying which one goes where, I'm going to look at my answer choices here, and what I see here is that each answer choice says for every pound, for each pound, for every pound, per pound. So each of these looks to me identifies a unit rate, okay, for every one or for each one or per 1 pound. And so that's going to help me to kind of determine which of these ratios on the side for number 14 is going to match each unit rate. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to put each of these into unit rates. If it costs $7.50 per 3 pounds, then we need to know how much it costs per 1 pound. If I divide 3 to both parts of my ratio, I know that $2.50 per 1 pound would be my ratio, and that looks like choice C. Let's do the same thing here with the next option. I have 375 to 5 pounds. It could be written with a colon in between if you would prefer it to be written like that, or as a fraction even. Remember, ratios can be written in 3 different ways. It says 375 to 5 pounds. I would like it to say 375 or a number to 1 pound. To find the unit rate. That's the form that all of my answer choices are in. So when I divide 375 by 5, here would be a good example of how to do long division. A little review session here. Doesn't go into 3 at all. 30, okay, 7 minus, put my decimal here, maybe. Bring down the 5. Okay, looks like 75 cents per 1 pound. And that was choice A. So let's see if choice A is correct. That is correct. And we're going to do this process for each of these, find the unit rate. So I'm going to divide this one by 4. And I will divide the next one by 6 to find out per 1. So when I divide 6 by 4, looks to me like I get 1.5. So, or we would call that 150 to 1. And that would be choice D. And then finally 1350 divided by 6. $2.25 per 1 pound. And that was the only choice left, which was choice B. All right. So I need to use the unit rate to match those up because I see that each of my answer choices is in unit rate form. So I would look at your answer choices before you start some of your problems today to make sure you are strategically planning your answers. Number 15 says to use the information on the nutrition label to write the unit rates described below. Show your work. There are blank calories in 1 cracker. Okay, so there's some information we need to analyze here. In this case, for our nutrition facts, the serving size is 2 crackers. Okay, and it says there are blank calories in 1 cracker. Well, if there are 50 calories in 1 serving, and there are 2 crackers in each serving, then I know that those 50 calories are divided evenly into 2 parts. So I'm going to say that there are 25 calories in 1 cracker. It goes on to say 1 cracker has a mass of blank grams. Well, I will tell you again, I'll show you again. 2 crackers is 1 serving, and that would make 14 grams. So if we have 14 grams divided evenly into 2 parts, I'm going to say that 1 cracker would have mass of 7 grams. Fat calories. Again, we're looking at the label, and I'm identifying the calories from fat as 15. That is split evenly into 2 parts. We could call that 15 halves, or we could call that 7 1/2, or 7.5. Any of those things would be correct or fine. 7.5 or 7 1/2. Okay. It says to show our work. I kind of didn't write it on the lines very well, but I am going to show you what the book is expecting you to write down. 50 calories to 2 crackers equals 25 calories in 1 cracker. And so it looks to me like they used a ratio. I should have thought of that. A ratio to solve this. So it's 50 to 2 would be the same as 25 to 1. And I'm guessing they probably did the same thing with these other 2. Yep, 14 to 2 would be the same as 7 to 1. And they use the unit rate for this one as well, it looks like. So this last part here would be 15 to 2 would be the same as 7.5 to 1 if I divided it both by 2. Number 16 is a new problem. It says that Don earned $97.50 for 10 hours of work. Amy earned $120 for 12 hours of work. How much did each person make per hour? How can you use this information to compare their earnings? When it says per hour, I want you to keep in mind when it says per hour, it means per 1 hour. Okay, we're referring to a unit rate. And so what I would like to do is I would like to compare the amount of money that Don made to the number of hours that she worked. I'll make the same comparison with Amy. So Don worked for $97.50, and it took her 10 hours. Amy worked for $120 over the course of 12 hours. Now, to determine who's making more per 1 hour, we would need to have the unit rate here. So we want to make this last part 1 hour instead. So on Don, I will divide by 10, and that tells me, if I move one place value, $9.75 per 1 hour. And for Amy, if I divide by 12 to find my unit rate, I'm making $10 per 1 hour. So it looks to me like Dawn is making more for every hour that she spends working. No, Dawn is making less for every hour she has spent working, and Amy is making more. Dawn is making $9.75 for every hour, and Amy is making $10 for every 1 hour. We've answered this part of the question. We can use this information to compare their earnings. So I would say that Amy worked longer, but she also made more money because she's making more for every hour. So this explains in words how we solve the problem here. And I do want you to actually put the words on your paper as well. Okay, it says if Dawn earned $97.50 for 10 hours of work, she works for $9.75 per hour. If Amy earned $120 for 12 hours of work, she is working for $10 per hour. If we compare these rates, then we know that Amy earns more money per hour than Dawn does. Okay.